Okay, that's working, hopefully. So, okay. Oh, there we go. That's looking streaming. Yep, that's up. Now I just need to get a chat window up. Okay, where is... I got my... to bring that up. I'll make sure I'm not getting audio from my phone. All I want is chat window. Okay, there we go. Should be sitting in front of me and oh yeah, phone is muted. Okay. Oh, hello. We are live. So a few things should probably mention. I don't know how different I sound. My volume seems to be okay, and I still seems to be filtering out most of the background noise. I should probably explain what happened. Our house is getting some work done in the garden, as in, I believe it's to do with the septic tank we have, because we live out in the country. And they had to bring an excavator along to dig it up. That excavator managed to cut right through our landline, which severed our fiber optic cable. Which means the internet at my house is completely gone until that can be fixed, which is probably going to be a few days. Otherwise, the reason I'm still able to stream is that my mother has given me permission to, set up in her spare sitting room. Well, it's not really a spare sitting room, but it's not being used right now. So I don't have my usual setup, everything, so I'm not quite sure how everything works. The internet, I had to run an internet test, and I should be able to. My streaming speed and all should still work. I actually have one other change. I do have a bit of a live studio audience here in the form of Bella. Is a bit of a lazy Labrador retriever sitting at my feet. But she's a good quiet dog. She'll be fine. And other than that, I'm aware I am closer to the road than I normally am when streaming, and I do also aware that my little brother is above me. So there might be a little bit more background noise, but hopefully it won't be too much, and if there is any, hopefully my sound filter should be able to keep it to a minimum. But anyway, back to the game. Last time what did happen last time? The formation of the crystal. We went through all the formation of the crystal braves. Found there was another, not hijacking. Yeah, more heretic thefts about the on the shipments going from House Fortemps to Revenants Toll. Learned that a lot of those were crystals, and that the heretics might be looking to summon a primal. Oh, yep. Hi, Mooney. Yep. Sorin's got his winter clothes on because, I don't know how Alphino can, walk around like that. At least by the time Heavensward starts, he kind of wises up a little bit. Anyway. Again. It seems as though we are always one step behind, our quarry ever just beyond our reach. Though I would like to believe that the tables are about to turn, I must confess to having certain doubts. A joint effort may succeed where others have failed, but it could yet yield the same results. Fortunately, we are not without other options. I trust you haven't forgotten Inquisitor Gwyllian. We have not. The mystery of how the heretic remained undiscovered for so long has been much in our thoughts, as has the question of what steps might be taken to prevent a similar breach of security in future. Accordingly, we conducted an exhaustive and covert evaluation of everyone in Whitebrim Front. Though some were found to have committed certain minor transgressions, we identified only one possible heretic. If this man has pledged himself to Iceheart's cause, he will have taken note of the movements of the Temple Knights and the Crystal Braves, and upon recognizing their intent, he may attempt to warn the heretics. The man's watch is to end soon, at which point he must report to Sir Jean Tremont and the Gondramon in the yard. I would have you keep an eye on him. If he ventures beyond the walls, follow him discreetly. Should he meet with a heretic, do not interfere. Simply watch and listen. I have seen to it that the suspect knows nothing which could endanger our plans. Okay, sir. A little bit of sneaking, sir. Hopefully I can be as good at this as Mr. Frankfurt is. Maybe Maggie isn't the best option. If that's Sir Jean-Dramont. So I just keep an eye out and try and look inconspicuous. Nothing seems to be out of the ordinary. Guessing that's our guy. Beatrice is leaving though. Where's he going? If he's... towards Ishgard, or... Oh, doesn't look quite like he's going that way. Not even to Camp Dragonhead. There he is. Where are you going? Still no sign of any of our heretics, though. Maybe he's not being spotted? No choice but to keep following, I guess. Games where you have to sneak, but kind of, you know, not sneaking isn't really an option. The game doesn't let you fail stealth. I'm fairly certain when I did this the first time around, I was curious enough to just go up and talk to him, and I don't even think that... Yeah, I'm fairly certain that doesn't work. Because I did complete the quest. I don't think you can fail. I think the only actually proper stealth quests you get are in the ninja rogue quest lines. Hey! Hey! Where in the seven hells are you? I'm freezing my bollocks off here! I'm here, you blundering oaf. Why are you late? Standing on the wall, why else? I have duties to fulfill, you know? Your sole duty is to... Bloody echo. Lower your voice, or they'll hear us from Whiteburn front. Yes, of course. The Temple Knights are... in Snowcloak. This is what you bring to me? We already know about... our comrades in Boulder Downs will use the tunnels... dead before they know what's happening. Nevertheless... if you waste my time again. Is that clear? Yeah. Game offers to failures or to developers. I'm not quite sure. I'd say that. I think there needs to be some kind of like cost reward. Otherwise, sometimes games can get a little too boring, I guess. If you know you're guaranteed success, you don't have that same sense of satisfaction for completing something. I guess in a case, like, in the main stories for Final Fantasy, like, they want as many people as possible to be able to experience the story. And I don't know, stealth games seem to be either you love them or hate them kind of thing. So fair enough not putting any of it in the base game. Lord Drillmon? Well, did your investigation bear fruit? I think so. They said something about tunnels and Boulder Downs? I see. I shall have the man detained at once. His guilt is plain. Would that you could have heard their words more clearly. Yet, the few snatches you were able to make out are nonetheless enlightening. It would seem the heretics are aware of our operation, and confident that they can thwart it. Their comrades in Boulder Downs are the key to their plans, which means it is key to our plans that they be rooted out and put to the sword. Seems like a plan, sir. How do you think we go about this? We have long suspected that the heretics use a network of secret tunnels to traverse the highlands undetected. Given what you overheard, I fear that Snowcloak may be riddled with such passageways, and that the heretics in Boulder Downs are planning to use them to take our forces unawares. Beyond two, so... Oh, I don't think I know too much about that game. I remember hearing about it, but never really. I can't actually remember anything about it. Needless to say, we cannot allow that to happen. The contingent of House Durandare Knights are on patrol in the area at once, but knowing nothing of our enemy's numbers or readiness, I cannot say for sure they will be sufficient. It would put my mind at ease if you would consent to assist my knights with the search. I know they would take courage from the presence of so storied a warrior. Pray rendezvous with them at Boulder Downs. If Loni is kind, we may catch these heretics before their plans come to fruition. Show them no mercy, Sorin. The lives of our allies are at stake. Okay, sir. I wonder if maybe while we're out here we can find an entrance to these tunnels. Trying to find a back door into wherever the heretics are hiding. Where are these knights? Am I too late? I won't let your deaths be in vain. I should have left sooner. Maybe they should have come directly here. I do seem to be having a bit of a ping issue. Not sure if there's much I can do about it. Marvin. No. Any more? Hoping I could bring better tidings to Lord Drillmon. Something. Here is... yeah, definitely seeming to be... Once I get back to Whitebrim, I might just tab out for a moment and see if there's anything else on my computer that's trying to run stuff. Or maybe Steam's decided to auto-update of games or something. No, that's not the case. Just everything else seems fine. And yeah, network. Yeah, understandably, OBS is using most of my network connection. And the stream seems to be smooth enough. Guessing maybe it's just my connection to the Final Fantasy servers has been a little bit awkward at the moment. Hopefully that won't last too long. Lord Drillmon? My knights have no word of your coming, Sorin. What has happened? What is that in your hand? It was dropped by one of the heretics, sir, but unfortunately, your knights... I didn't get there in time. Knight of Fury! Those were veterans with years of service! And now they lie dead in the snow. Their bodies must be recovered and... No. No, we have not the men to spare. Not now. Not while Iceheart prepares to summon an abomination. Oh. The heretics you dispatched were not of sufficient number to contend with the combined strength of the Temple Knights and Crystal Braves. There must be others, and I'll wager they are on their way to Snowcloak as we speak. To make matters worse, it seems the traitor you followed managed to pass the heretics something of value after all. The parchment you recovered is a timetable of our guardsman's watches at our outpost in Snowcloak. The traitor was stationed there long before he aroused our suspicions. Would that we had caught him sooner. With this information, the heretics would know when the watch was weakest. They could use their tunnels with impunity and prepare their ambush. The timetable has not changed, you see. Of course, it will be changed now, but the heretics may already be in position. House Fortemps must send reinforcements, even if it means withdrawing knights from the Stone Vigil. I can see no other way to our allies. Hadn't you only just taken back the Stone Vigil? Is there anything more I can do to help, sir? Oh boy, that is not good. Time is of the essence, Sorin. While my knights make ready to depart, the heretics may take our allies in Snowcloak unawares. Superior training and equipment will avail them naught if they are cut down ere their swords are drawn. But all is not yet lost. If you leave now, there may still be time to warn them. Make haste, I beseech you. Fly to Snowcloak and tell Sir Aymerk everything we have discovered. I'll head over there immediately, sir. Hopefully it's not too late this time. No signs of anything so far along the road. That's noise upstairs. Language is still English. Alphino, how are you holding up in this weather? Sir Aymerk, he's over there. Have words with the man if you must. We shall speak anon. Seems to be doing fine anyway. Sir Aymerk? Sorin, this is a welcome surprise. Perhaps the only one thus far. As you can see, we have yet to uncover any hidden... sorry to interrupt, sir, but we need to prepare for an ambush. You have my gratitude. Truth be told, we suspected the heretics might be plotting such an attack. Now that we have confirmation, I shall place my knights on high alert. Has Commander Levalier been informed? The Braves must be made aware. I'll let him know now, sir. Yeah, Alphino. Might want to get the Braves to prepare for an ambush. Alphino? It must be here. I am certain of it. Why else would they go to such lengths to defend Snowcloak? It is but a pity this discovery comes when our enemy has us at such a disadvantage. Forewarned though we be, the heretics know the terrain far better than we. I dare not think how many are watching us at this very moment. Confound it! This is all wrong. Iceheart has us scrambling to save our own skins when we should rightly be straining every sinew to find her and stop this damnable summoning. There she is! Come here, girl! What? Miss Ida. That was close. They didn't hurt you, did they? Only my pride, Ida. There will be others nearby. We must see that they are given a similarly warm welcome. Come on to Levier. Mr. Papano, too. There's been a development, sir. Together with the Temple Knights, we have secured the entrances to some half-dozen tunnels after spotting the enemy breaking the surface. But that is not all, sir. We think that one of them may be important. Certainly the heretics in there flung themselves upon our swords to defend it. Aha! Just as I suspected. Amongst this warren of tunnels lies the entrance to Iceheart's lair. Summon the others. We're going in. A moment, Alphino. The tunnel in question is barely wide enough for 2 men abreast. We cannot say with any certainty where it leads, much less what is waiting for us there. Furthermore, we have no way of knowing how many heretics are still lurking here on the surface. What if they were to converge on this point after we have entered the tunnel? For all we know, we could be funneling our forces into a trap. I take your point. If the tunnel is indeed as narrow as you say, greater numbers would be more a hindrance than a help. Should we encounter difficulty, our own allies would become an obstacle to escape. A change of plans. While we rendezvous with Sir Amerk and keep the heretics at bay here, you will go wherever the tunnel leads. If you find Iceheart at the end of it, do not let her escape. You venture into the unknown, so see that you are prepared for anything. I suggest you call upon your allies. Though not too many, or primal will sulk. Get into the ice, then. Sir? The entrance to the tunnel, sir? It's just over here. Had we not seen the heretics breaking the surface, we would never have noticed it. Per Sir Amerk's orders, we will stand guard outside. Please be aware that even should you encounter significant resistance, we cannot leave our post. I think I'll be okay, sir. I seem to be fairly decent at this adventuring thing. Oh, Snowcloak. And oh, yeah, that was a quick cue. Perfect, just what I want. I like it when the healer queue pops instantly. I don't have that awkward amount of time to... Hello, Bella. This is the other side of Snowcloak. Not quite what I was expecting. No tank yet? Oh, yeah. I can't actually remember exactly how the encounter with Iceheart goes at the end. I suppose I'll find out again soon enough. Are you okay there, Bella? Okay. Yes, this is making up for the quick queue in that, did our tank leave? Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think the tank dropped. I think it must have been a deliberate disconnect though, because normally it give the name's still there, it's just grayed out. Give them a chance to rejoin if it was just connection issues. Oh, our samurai is sitting behind now. Oh, yeah. Be right back. Gotta say, wasn't... Caves are a lot bigger than I was expecting. Tunnels didn't stay narrow for too long. Oh, there we go. Oh boy. That feels like lag. Yep. I hope this is just a temporary thing. I know I've just had days in my normal setup where my internet has been like this. It's easy enough to deal with in single-player instances, not quite as much when other people are relying on you to perform well. Suppose being Scholar is a little bit of help here, as some of my healing is automatic. DPS here. I don't have any heretics yet in here though. Yes, mostly. My brain can process that sentence. I seem to disconnect symbol by my name again. Haven't let anyone die yet. That's fair enough. Oh boy. Oh, damn. Oh boy. This might be... Ooh. Oh no. This is not going particularly great for me. Stream still seems to be streaming fine though. Things I have to accept about living in Ireland, but playing on an American server. About. Let's make sure. Chaos is centered for a fact. Stream is stuttering for you. Is it just the audio stuttering or the video as well? Because the video seems to be going fine for me. Also, hello, Meta. I mean, I'm also aware that the game is stuttering. Snowball? Oh, that's not Lucio. Don't pass up Lucio on the snowball. Fortunately, this seems to be one of those boss fights where I don't really need to do any healing. Chaos seems to have it all under control. Video 2. Oh yeah. I kind of forget that about your internet sometimes. But what I'm seeing, I can't keep my eyes too much on my phone. Well, I probably can, to be fair, at this stage, because I've got a healer rotation, which means I just need to press the same button over and over and over again. But whenever I've been looking down, it seems to be going fairly consistently. There we go. Still no sign of any heretics, though. We sure we're on the right path. We did say there are several tunnels. Is the heretics defending this one just a red herring? Oh, nope. I think I'm gonna get hit by that. Yep. Streaming perfect is 70-26. Okay, stream perfect. Yeah, it might just be your internet having its own struggles. I know I'm definitely having some ping issues in Final Fantasy, but whenever I look at my phone, that seems to be fine. Probably, here's something I'll try and do that might help. I'll disconnect my phone from the Wi-Fi and just have it run off mobile data. Hopefully that might see a little bit of an improvement for me. Oh, darn, I forgot to call Eos back. That was unnecessary. Still blocks. A heretic though. I'm starting to think we've been bamboozled. This doesn't feel like we're going the right way. That's a dragon. Maybe? Okay, maybe this is the right track. Setting my phone to mobile data doesn't seem to help too much. I don't think it was going to streams. No, that's S, wrong button. That is also the wrong button. I forgot my hotbar layout completely for a moment there. I was wanting to cast Sucker, not Lustrate. Oh. Stick it. It might be Sorin's first time in Snowcloak, but it's not mine. This seems to be the end of it. That's a big wolf. Behind it, is that? That looks like a beast knife, right? This doesn't seem too bad. Nowhere near as many heretics as I was expecting, but that Ape right there is making me think that. Oh. I somewhat suspected that I might be dead. That's actually a problem. Yep. Okay. I think the rest of the party might have this though. Fenrir isn't a particularly difficult boss. Oops. I don't know. I can entirely blame that on lag. I think that was just me being inattentive. Duty complete. Sorin just had a bit of a slip up. He was too busy. I was too busy thinking about the implications of that aephorite. That's what's going on. Definitely that. Thank you, Emil. I did done goofed.
The
Of course.
tales do not do you justice, warrior of light.
Excuse me?
Yes, I know who you are, and you know who I am.
Ice Heart, I'm guessing.
I was given the name Izel, but I earned the name Iceheart.
Yeah, of course it was a warrior soloing the boss. Well, not soloing the boss. Yeah, warriors don't need healers, do they?
This endless cycle of hatred, of bloodshed, of sorrow. You would see it continue, O noble warrior of light.
I would rather see no more bloodshed. I am here.
I would not. I will not. I will bring an end to this war between dragon and man, no matter the cost. In time,
If the
you will
cost is
come to
worse than
understand that what we do for the greater good. For Eorzea, for Hydaelyn.
Greater good means nothing if the means you use to achieve it are... Where you want to go? For Hydaelyn? That's... Right, what I was expecting her motivations to be. Ah yes, we are familiar with another greater good, aren't we, aren't we, Meta? That took longer than I expected. What news, Sorin? Well, I met Iceheart. So Iceheart is but a pseudonym. Not that it matters. That she managed to escape is regrettable, but from your description of that beast, you did well to come as close as you did. Couldn't have done it alone. In any case, now that you have cleared a path, the Temple Knights can begin to survey the tunnels in earnest. Mayhap they will even find a route past the ice wall. Wouldn't that do wonders for their fight against the heretics? And the Crystal Braves would certainly share the credit for it too. Well be praised, Sorin. We may yet turn this situation to our advantage. Assuming we stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva, of course. Needless to say, our fellow Scions have not been idle. Minfilia and Urianger have been busy perusing the archives of House Fortemps, gathering what information they can on Shiva. Which reminds me, if you are intending to trudge back to Camp Dragonhead to report on today's events, don't. The antecedent should be here any minute. I can only assume some people enjoy subjecting themselves to this cold. I mean, Alphino, one could assume that of you, given how you choose to dress. Generally, if people don't like the cold, they tend to, you know, prepare for it. Miss Minfilia. See, Alphino, some people know to prepare for the cold. Antecedent. You come to us straight from the archives of House Fortemps. I trust your time there proved fruitful. What did it had? Urianger and I scoured countless texts, but what we found was of questionable veracity. Accounts of Shiva's life and deeds are sparse and contradictory, only agreeing upon one point. She lay down with a dragon, the gravest of all sins, according to the Ishgardian faith. Yet in the eyes of Iceheart's followers, this was a holy act, The blessed union of man and dragon. How such a thing could even be possible is quite another question. Suffice it to say, I very much doubt that we'll find a useful answer in the archives of House Fortemps. Much knowledge has been lost over the centuries, though in this case one wonders if it is by circumstance or design. You said that Iceheart took a moment to plead her case prior to escaping, did you not? Well, kind of. Viewed without prejudice, most would agree that bringing an end to an endless war serves the greater good. I think Sir Aymeric might take issue with her methods. I've just realized, well, it's the same, Sorin has this, it's the same jacket that Sorin uses. I do not care if a few stragglers manage to escape. Until the sappers confirm that the tunnel is safe, the men are not to search it. Yes, Lord Commander. You pursue your foes with less zeal than I had expected, Sir Aymeric. Lest you misunderstand, I do not deny that our enemy has given us good reason to be prudent. I merely meant, you being a man of faith, that I had expected a certain single-mindedness. After all, was it not by the will of Halone that your ancestors came to this land? Why they took up arms against the Revenants? What would they have done in your position, I wonder? There are those who believe that faith is a renunciation of free will, that unquestioning devotion is required of all who would live a life in service to the Fury. So a leader of men. We are all at liberty to interpret the scriptures as we will. I choose to believe that the Fury would value the lives of her followers over the deaths of her enemies. But I would not presume to speak for the Knights of Eld. It was a different time, nay, a different era, and scripture tells us only so much. Would that it had told us more. Awfully pragmatic for a servant of the Holy See. A welcome trait at the negotiating table, to be sure. Less so when one's enemies are making ready to harness the power of a god. Mayhap he does not truly believe that Iceheart's plan can succeed. Truth be told, I too remain somewhat skeptical. Shiva was real, a living, breathing woman. Of that there can be no doubt. In this respect, she differs from every other figure to have been summoned, each of whom was worshipped as a god. The sole exception being good King Mogulmog XII, the myth made manifest in response to the fervent supplications of the Mogulsguard. Saint Shiva may differ, but what of the heretics? They are a tribe of outcasts at war with a mighty nation, who yearn for the resurrection of the one who embodies their beliefs. If that is not placing one's faith in a higher power, then what is? Crystals and conviction, Minfilia. They have them both in abundance. I can attest that it does seem to work like that. Can that truly be all that is required? Miss Minfilia, remind me at some point to tell you the story of Enkidu. My survey team has concluded a preliminary analysis of the Aetheryte Iceheart used to escape. They believe that she teleported to another Aetheryte, somewhere not far to the west. Despite the apparent proximity of this second Aetheryte. Oh, hello, Catherine! Been a while. They've been wholly unable to detect its presence directly. Unless Iceheart has some means to mask its signal, I can only presume she had it destroyed to prevent us from following her. Without the means to teleport as she did, we have no choice but to search for an alternate route, most likely a tunnel, assuming one exists. Let us not give up on teleportation just yet. One of our colleagues in Charlian may be able to assist us. I pray that you are right. I dare not think how long it will take us to survey the entire tunnel system. While Minfilia looks into our Aetheryte problem, I would like to request your assistance with another matter. The 3rd unit is currently tracking the remnants of the heretic force which attacked us. However, the search goes poorly, despite our numbers. The surface is vast, and Iceheart's followers know the terrain far better than we. Your knowledge of this region may serve to hasten the process. The sooner we capture Iceheart's followers, the sooner we can press them for their leader's whereabouts. Oh, yeah. Good to hear your laptop's working again, though. I had to upgrade my computer about this time last year. Also, though it is admittedly a selfish request, I feel that my braves would benefit immensely from working alongside you. While we have our share of veterans, we also have more than a few less experienced recruits, many of whom look up to you, in case you are not aware. It's gonna help out, I see no problem in it. Good. I knew you would understand. You, Hase, can appraise you of the details. When the task is complete, come and find me at the observatorium. Captain Ilbert and I are meeting there to discuss the latest developments in his investigation. Temple Knights shall hold Snowcloak in our absence. Let us leave them to their work. Ours is more pressing. Oh. Mr. Yuhase? There you are, Sorin. Commander Levier instructed me to wait for you. Your assistance is most welcome, believe me. Most of the furred hail from Ul'dah, and for a man accustomed to the feel of sand beneath his boots, the crunch of snow can be rather disconcerting. But to the matter at hand, nary a moment ago I received word that the heretics we seek have been spotted making for Danafan Pass. My braves are already in pursuit, and I should be grateful if you would join them. I myself shall be taking part in the hunt. Never let it be said that I do not earn my coin. Danafan Pass, that was where the heretic guardsman I followed went to. Oh, I'm lagging too much to... There we go. Oh. Sir? Is everything okay? Balls, my ankle is on fire. Got my boot on a rock or something and twisted as I fell. Oh. Yeah, that is pretty painful, sir. The others went on ahead through Danafan Pass. Hurry and you might catch up. If you aren't sure where to go, look for tracks. This snow is fresh, so they shouldn't be hard to find. I guess I should be glad, for I was worried something had happened again. Maybe I'd been too late and he'd just escaped a massacre or something. A twisted ankle isn't too bad. This isn't far from where I've... These seem to be prints leading off somewhere. How far did these guys go? Excuse me, sir. I assume you're at third? Scion, what are you doing here? The heretics? I'm not sure. There was a great scaled beast in... Yuhase? I think he went east on his own. The heretics split up, so we did too. That looked like you, Yuhase. Sir, is everything okay? More heretics. More. Is everything okay? How embarrassing! I was so intent on following the heretics' tracks that I almost failed to notice they had doubled back. Almost, mind you. One tried to sneak up behind me and got a knife in the gut for his troubles. And I fought myself alone, so I started searching the dead man's knapsack for anything of interest. And lo and behold, before his friends found me, I came upon this. Withdrawing groups of 3 or less to the observatorium. Give the signal and wait. The merchant will be watching. Be late and be left for dead. Speaks for itself, does it not? They can't possibly mean to rendezvous inside the place, so we should restrict our search to the surrounding areas. Let me rephrase that. You should restrict your search to the wilderness around the observatorium. I will need more than a moment's rest to recover from these wounds. Okay, sir. It would be helpful if we knew what this signal was. Looking a little... Excuse me, sir. Do you mind if I ask a question or two? I'm through with listening to your excuses. We leave now. How? The woods are crawling for those bluecoats, and the knights are searching every wagon that passes through the gates. Excuse me, sir. Well, stay with him then, if you think you'll fare any better. Now, there's no need for that. There are places like this in my homeland, sacred snow-capped peaks where blood must not be shed. Yet your land's ever thirst for the blood of the fallen, and by your deeds it is drunk deep. No, I've done no wrong. None but meet in secret with heretics. Deny it all you will, we shall have the truth from you yet. Inquisitors are not the only ones skilled in the art of interrogation. Damn it all! Oh, that was easier than I thought it might be. Fancy meeting you here, Sorin. I presume your work with the Third brought you hither. What a tangled web. Lest you wonder, we came not for the heretics, but for the merchant who has been conspiring with them. He came to our attention during the course of our investigation into the Ivy. It beggars belief, I know, but it seems our favourite Garlean spy may have been providing assistance to Iceheart. Were it not for the efforts of Lady Ugiri and her shinobi, we might never have discovered this connection. Master Alvino is too kind. I fear my people and I have done little to aid your search for this spy. We long to strike back against the Empire and weaken their influence in this land, to prevent the tragedy which befell Doma from reoccurring. The days ahead and the work they promise will require a very particular set of skills which I am fortunate enough to possess. If you will allow it, I would accompany you until the investigation is complete. And that is a most generous offer, Lady Ugiri, and one which I gladly accept. Thank you. Though I may disappear for a time, know that I shall never be far, and shall always be watching. A comforting thought. Come, Sorin, let us wait inside for Captain Elbert to return and deliver his report. Excuse me. Bit of a yawn. More noise from upstairs. I do hope that's not too loud. Captain Elbert seemed confident that the merchant's resolve would swiftly crumble when pressed. If so, we should have new information ere long. As to whether it will bring us any closer to learning the Ivy's identity, I would rather not say. And given our adversary's cunning, I shall consider us fortunate if we are spared another wild dodo chase. Gods know we have more than enough to occupy our time as it is. You see? Has been a long day. Has been a long week for me. There's a lot going on at home at the minute. Captain Elbert, your report, if you will. Aye, Commander. Firstly, with regard to the heretic we captured, I regret to say the man could tell us naught we did not already know of Shiva. We have since handed him over to the Ishgardian authorities. Henceforth, the Holy See will pursue the matter independently. Our inquiries concerning the Ivy, however, have proven more fruitful. Excuse me. We have ascertained the channel by which the heretics acquired their information on the shipment routes. Go on. You will recall the flame we first identified as being in the Ivy's employ. From him we were able to trace a trail of conspirators, each taking us closer to his master. Alas, the trail came to an abrupt end. Excuse me. Fearing that the investigation had been compromised, we took the necessary step of detaining all suspected of conspiracy. There were 5 on our list, including a flame stationed at Revenants Hall. The man's primary duty was to keep an inventory of donations from abroad, the particulars of which he would share with benefactors, thereby ensuring that needs did not go unfulfilled. By virtue of his role, he was privy to the details of all shipments bound for the settlement. Needless to say, that included those originating from House Fortemps. He knew the precise route the caravan would take, and he sold that information to a merchant. I think I can guess which one. None other. With a little encouragement, he soon confessed to knowingly aiding and abetting the heretics. Well, that is one mystery solved at least. But what of the Ivy? Are we any closer to prizing off his mask? I dare say we are, Commander. Our relentless pursuit has forced him to commit a grave error. In a desperate bid to cover his tracks, the Ivy resorted to exercising certain administrative powers available only to high-ranking members of the Immortal Flames. If you consider then that our investigation is known to barely a handful of them, the field of suspects is greatly narrowed. You mean to say that the agent is among Roban's innermost circle? Someone who's been with him since the Immortal Flames establishment? It is the most plausible explanation. The infiltration likely occurred during the company's founding, with the groundwork for the act being laid beforehand. To slip into a position of authority unremarked, and remain above suspicion all these years. I too was surprised, though I really should not have been. Of the 3 grand companies, Uldaz was ever the more vulnerable to infiltration. Both limbs of Leminster and Gridania had long-standing armed forces that lent themselves well to the formation of the Maelstrom and the Order of the Twin Adder. To all intents and purposes, it was the same people, loyal ones mind, under the same leadership. Only the banner was different. Not so the Flames. Uldaz's military was made up of disparate orders, most of which were glorified mercenary companies that answered only to their own paymasters. Hardly an ideal environment in which to establish something as high-minded as a grand company. The difficulties Raban faced when founding the Immortal Flames are well known, even after he had convinced his fellow syndicate members to share the cost. There remained a small matter of finding enough bodies to fill the ranks. Indeed, and given the pressing nature of the Imperial threat, that meant recruiting every passing sellsword. Amidst the chaos of its founding, it would have been child's play to infiltrate the company. A good deal easier than now, aye. The Immortal Flames have ever been caught between conflicting interests supplying Raban with an army. It is but a wonder they did not attempt to extinguish the flames the moment the danger had passed. Returning to the present. Even as we speak, our Doman allies are shadowing several high-ranking flames, any one of whom could be the Ivy. Desiring to deal a blow against the Empire, the refugees were eager to lend us their aid. I expect to hear from them ere long. Very good. Pray continue your investigation with the first. Meanwhile, have the second attend to the unrest. The third can join the fourth in inspecting crystal shipments. If they notice anything unusual, I want to know about it. If Shiva is summoned in like manner to the other primals, the heretics will be looking for further supplies. Understood, Commander. I shall send word to Sir Amerk, informing him of our success in identifying the heretics' abettors. Hopefully the information will be of some use to the Ishgardians. It is time, Commander. Yes, I am aware. An emergency council of the Alliance leadership has been called, and there have been developments in Garlemald, it would seem. As Commander of the Crystal Braves, my presence has been requested. I would have you accompany me, Sorin. As the realm's stoutest champion, 'tis only meet that you be present for discussion. Oh, and the antecedent has already given her consent, lest you worry. I guess that means you already assumed I'd be going along, but I have no reason to refuse, I guess. I guess if I'm going to be fighting the Empire as well, it's probably best to know what's going on. Like me, you are doubtless eager to conclude our business with Iceheart, but until another path to her sanctum is found, she will remain beyond our reach. Minfilia and the Archons are sparing no effort to secure an alternate route. Until such time as they succeed, I suggest we give some thought to the other realm's other problems. I shall go on ahead to Gridania, in readiness for the coming council. Meet me at Novika's altar, and we shall make our way to the Lotus Stand together. Meet you there then. Back to Gridania. Sorry, I'm just taking a drink. Conjurer's Guild. Captain Elbert, off now. My thanks for coming, Sorin. And when you are ready, speak with the conjurer yonder. She will show us the lotus stand. The Alliance leaders await you at the lotus stand. Will you be joining them now? I will be, yes. Find out what's going on and... Should have changed out of this jacket. It's...
Change has come to the Garlean Empire, and we must discuss the implications.
The rumors are true, then? The War of Succession is ended?
That means the Empire has an emperor again?
It is. A new emperor reigns in Garlemald.
Yep.
Who?
The birth and all too rapid expansion of the Garlean Empire is commonly attributed to the strategic brilliance of Solus Zosgalvis, yet he did not rule alone. Several members of the royal household also distinguished themselves during his reign. Nevertheless, it was the eldest son who stood to inherit the throne, until his most untimely passing.
I thought us fortunate when I learned that the Emperor had died without naming a successor.
Would that the Garlean Empire had died with him.
'Twas the grandson and his uncle who had the strongest claims, was it not?
Indeed, yet claims count for little without the power to assert them. High Legatus Varus Ye Galvus is a respected military leader, not so his uncle.
So young Varus has torn the crown from his uncle's grasp and taken his place at the head of the Empire.
We assume this means it won't be too long before they start work on their invasion of Eorzea again.
Given the troubled nature of his succession, the new emperor will require time to seal his grip on power. Yet have no doubt but that he shall, for there are none left with strength enough to oppose him.
Since the success of Operation Archon, the remnants of the 14th Legion and the forces occupying Alamigo have done naught but fortify their positions. But you can be sure they'll be ready to march on us again, if their Emperor gives the word.
When, not if. They say this Varus was so set upon Eorzean annexation that he spoke out against the Meteor Project.
Plainly, the new Emperor's intentions are of great concern to us all. I propose that we set aside the Cartno dispute for the present, and discuss what measures the Alliance might take to prepare for a resumption of hostilities with Garlemald. Moreover, I move that we re-examine the question of how our former allies in Ishgard might be persuaded to retake their place at our side. Could Eorzea but stand as one, 'twould deal a grave blow to our enemies' ambitions.
We did speak with Ishgard recently, but it doesn't seem too likely that Derek did say that part of that was because they didn't think the Empire was this close
I
to...
suppose we should be grateful that they have finally acknowledged the inevitability of Imperial attack. Who knows? They may even do something about it.
You're not sounding very optimistic about this.
If only the leaders of Ishgard would follow their example and stop hiding behind their gates,
You okay, boss?
praying for the coming storm to pass them by. But that is a discussion for another time. At present, I am more concerned by the fact that the
Someone else in the house. I can, having opened the door, I think I can smell someone has been making food. I think that's what's got the dog's attention.
So long as the ivy eludes our grasp, no secret is safe.
What's our next move then, Alphino? It will not have escaped your notice that the nations of Eorzea are no nearer to being of one purpose, despite their protestations to the contrary. Plainly, the threat of a resurgent Garlemald is not enough to stir them. And the reason for this? Deep-rooted mistrust amongst the citizenry. The nation's leaders can come to all the understanding they like, but their unity means little unless to the common folk. Take the Laminsons, for instance. No, Admiral Merlwyb outlawed piracy over a decade ago. Foreigners still pictured the nation as a haven for grog-swilling, wooden-legged cutthroats. In likewise, Dukedanians are mocked as hermits who talk to trees, and Yuldans scorned as swindlers who worship coin. Not that such sentiments are entirely without grounds, of course. Take that pillar of Uldan society, Tileji Adeleji, for example. But that is besides the point. The fact is that people are wary of outsiders, whether they have cause to be or not. Oh, before I skipped it. Mess it. On that basis, one could argue that the conflict at Cartno is a necessary evil. Each nation has its own warmongering faction that advocates the acquisition of Omega. In order to placate them, we present them something resembling warfare, and thereby curb their appetite for full-scale conflict. But enough idle musing. Let us speak of a more pressing matter, the Ivy. Since we spoke at the Observatorium, Captain Ilbert has further shortened his list of suspects, and, by happy coincidence, the one he deems most likely candidate has lately come to Gridania. The hunt nears its end, Sorin. All that remains is to corner our quarry. Seek out Ilbert near the Adder's Nest. He will give you the particulars. Should there be any developments in Coerthas, you may be sure that I will send word without delay. In the meantime, I wish you success in apprehending the Ivy. Changing something a little. Need this hat on, Ivor. Back to tracking down the Ivy. A high-ranking immortal flame recently come to Gridania, though. Wasn't there someone with General Raban? My thanks for coming, Scion. Doubtless the commander has informed you, but we have unmasked the Ivy. Wait, I knew you shortened the list of suspects, and one of your suspects had come to Gridania. I didn't realize you'd actually confirmed it. From this point on, we must proceed with extreme caution. Okay, sir. Well, what can I do to help? Listen well. The spy we've been seeking all this time is none other than Flame Marshal Aline Relay, Roban's second-in-command. Prior to joining the Immortal Flames, she was a mercenary of no small renown. They say her skill for polearm had to be seen to be believed. Of Ishgardian birth, she is the highest-ranked foreigner in the Immortal Flames, barring the Flame General himself, of course. When he formed the Grand Company, Roban chose people based on their worth, and whence they hailed was of no interest. The monarchists saw things differently, however. Having funded the enterprise, they reserved the right to reject candidates nominated for high-ranking positions. And it was no secret that they did not favour foreigners, Ishgardians especially, after the way the Holy See forsook the alliance. Yet the monarchists did not raise so much as a murmur of protest when Rael was appointed to her post. Passing strange, is it not? Could it be that the Ivy has some hold over the monarchists? She was there when I first met Abounds. But these revelations are secondary to our current mission. Of foremost interest to us is Rael's presence here now. As you may be aware, it is the duty of the Flame Marshal to command the Immortal Flames in the absence of the Flame General. While Raban attended the Council of Alliance Leaders, she should have remained in the Hall of Flames. The woman has no business being in Gridania, yet here she is nonetheless, on some pretense. She is up to something, mark my words. Even as we speak, I have a dozen men trawling the Flames' records for evidence of Rael's guilt. But if we can catch her red-handed, we shall have all the proof we need. Which brings me to the plan. I have people watching the city gates, the airship landing, and the docks. Every point of egress. You cannot leave without our knowledge. All that remains is to shadow her until she betrays her true purpose. And I rely upon your eyes, sire. Of course, sir. You have my thanks. Let us go then, and take care not to alert our quarry. The more I think about it, so many times when I've met with General Abounds, Rael's been about. Rael is heading in the direction of the Blue Badger Gate. With me, sire. To the airship landing? So Rael has entered the Carline Canopy, meeting someone perchance. Or could it be she means to board an air? Sure. And pray look for her within. If she is not on the upper floor, try the landing area below. One of mine is stationed there, and she may have seen something. Ephemy is her name. I shall remain here in case Rael reappears. No sign of her upstairs. No sign of her down here either. Excuse me, ma'am. Sorin Sherwood, such an unexpected pleasure. What brings you here? Have you seen the Flame Marshal possibly recently? A social visit, you say? How pleasant. No, she didn't come this way. I've noted every passenger and none bore any resemblance. Well, don't let me keep you. Oh, yeah, I should probably be quiet about this, shouldn't I? Where did she go then? Captain Ilbert? Nowhere to be seen, you say? And you're sure she did not board an airship? Miss F. May said she didn't see anyone. She did not come back out either. Where in 7 hills could she have gone? The roost! How could I forget? Greetings, good sir. Might I interest you in some Muntoy tonic? A cup a day imbues a man with great vigour, if you take my meaning. Perhaps another time, friend. Wait. That necklace. You're a shinobi of Doma. The woman you seek has left Gridania by way of West Shore Pier. He was attired as a merchant, but these eyes are not so easily deceived. You may wish to take your search to the East Shroud. Rest assured that we shall continue to support you from the shadows. That's helpful. Like the 12 for the Domans. Were it not for their unique talents, Hrael would have disappeared without a trace. And I guess it's on us to get after her. Excuse me? Our hunt leads us to the East Shroud, Scion. I suggest we follow Hrael's example and take the ferry from West Shore Pier. You'll doubtless wish to make certain preparations. See to them while I go on ahead. I shall wait for you at Sweet Boom Pier. Don't think there's any more preparations I need to make. Yes. Eos? You wanna come along? Can't hurt to have a little bit of extra help. If right to the Lancer's Guild. And Sweet Bloom Pier. Excuse me? This way, my friends. Lady Yugiri. Your quarry makes for the Hawthorn Hut. If Hrael is truly the one we seek, we can expect that she means to make contact with her Garlean masters there. An explanation is in order. You are no doubt aware that the Garleans have their own method of communicating over great distances. Well, our ingenious friends at the Garland Ironworks have provided us with devices which disrupt these communications. We've installed them around city-states. In so doing, we have made it difficult for Imperial agents to correspond with their masters. Hrael would thus have no choice but to rendezvous with her Imperial contact directly. Yet, as a well-known face in the Immortal Flames, she cannot move about Fanlan without being recognized. It would be only a matter of time before someone saw through her disguise. Just for this reason, I believe that she has chosen the Black Shroud for her clandestine meeting. Dell is in our common sight here, and her comings and goings are not like to turn any heads. As my scouts tell it, the Garleans have sent agents with a mind to destroy the devices and render such direct contact unnecessary. Fortunately, our shinobi have thus far been successful in rebuffing their efforts. This is it. We need only make for Hawthorn's hut and catch Hrael in the act. Sounds like a plan. Get a key out. The Black Shroud. My very first starting area when I started up Final Fantasy for the first time. I will always have a fondness for the forest. Any sign of the ivy, then? My people report that our quarry has departed for the Bramble Patch. The ivy returns to the Gnarls when she came. But perhaps it is all for the better. To convict someone of her standing, we will require damning evidence against her. What could be better than to catch her in the act when she meets with her Garlean masters? My countrymen and I shall lie in wait in the shadows. Tread warily, my friends. Back into the bramble patch. Last time I was here was with the whole Moggles Guard incident. Just beyond, Rael is in conversation with an individual clad in the manner of an adventurer. An Imperial intermediary, no doubt. This is it. With me. Here we go. Blame Marshal Aline Royale. You are under arrest for treason and espionage. You were followed, you bloody fool. Damnation! I'm guessing these are the Doman Shinobi? You are unarmed, my lady, and scarcely garbed for battle. But if you wish to fight, you are welcome to try. What is the meaning of this, Captain? Would you arrest me for strolling to Twelveswood? When last I looked, that was no crime, and neither was conversing with passing strangers. You would feign ignorance, then? Very well. If you do think of something to say, there will be plenty of time to say it later. Now come quietly, or I shall make you wish you had. I will offer you no struggle. After all, I have naught to hide. Maybe she could have convinced us if her friend's reaction hadn't been quite so obvious. Clearly there's a reason she's the one doing the infiltrating and not him. Lady Gary? Even a warrior of Rael's renown could not have hoped to escape by force. Despite her claims, her surrender does not bespeak innocence, but an awareness that her position is untenable. Oh, excuse me? With the ivy thus uprooted, it is to be hoped that the tendril she entwined around immortal flames will gradually wither and die. Mayhap then the people of Ul'dah will have the grand company they deserve. But let us speak of the present. If I may ask, what will you do now, Sorin? I think I should probably be looking at heading back to Coerthas. So the Scions seek a way into Iceheart's sanctum. And I dare say you are eager to return to the Rising Stones. Pray do not let me keep you. Fear not, my countrymen and I shall tend to the aftermath. You need not waste your talents here. And speaking of talents, have you considered training in the art of the shinobi? You have the aptitude for it, I believe, so please, give it some thought. Until next time, my friend. I'll take it under advisement, Lady Yugiri. Still not quite sure getting involved with that guild is quite what I want to do. Revenants Hall. Should see if Lady Minfilia and Urianger have found out anything new. Wait a second. It's something I've never noticed before, but I know that Makoti has always been there by the steps. But I've only just now kind of realized that she becomes a crystal brave. What happens to her after? I now have to remind myself what happens to her afterwards. No, she doesn't look at you anymore when she's... I just remember the first time I saw her, I thought she was a player. Miss Tartary? Steady, steady. Not bad, eh? With a little more practice, I could earn a fortune at the Ruby Road Exchange. She cannot seriously be considering it. Life as a street performer should be one's last resort, not their first. The Taro has grown beyond childish fantasies of becoming a songstress. Now she aspires to be a legendary street performer. Well, if that's her dream... What's going on over... It's Mr. Boulder and Miss Mida having a squatting competition? I cannot go on much longer. I could do this all day. All day. I think I'm seeing a winner here. Strength, Hori. On your honors as Scion, I forbid you to surrender. I must admit, this exercise of yours never fails to amuse me. While its movements appear comical, it does seem to be having the desired effect. It's a battle of wills, a struggle for supremacy. Our fighting styles may differ, but this unyielding spirit is the same in warriors the world over. Well, you two keep at it. I need to go and talk with Miss Minfilia. Ma'am? Welcome back, Sorin. I understand that Alphino had a task for you. May I ask what it was? You know all that going on with the Ivy? Charges of treason and espionage against Elaine Royale? I can scarce believe it. Could there not have been some manner of misunderstanding? No, it avails us not to dwell on it. Whatever the truth may be, we must trust to the authorities to uncover it. But let us speak of another matter. I am pleased to report that we have made progress in our efforts to find a way into Iceheart's sanctum. You have? As you may recall, Iceheart used the Aephorite in the depths of Snowcloak to teleport a short distance to the west, most likely to a sanctuary of some description. It is there that we suspect she means to summon Shiva using the crystal she stole from the House Fortemps caravan. The heretics believe that they are bringing about the second coming of their patron saint. But if, as we suspect, they mean to hold a summoning ritual of the kind employed by the beast tribes, it seems likely that the result will be something more akin to a primal. Suffice it to say, they must be stopped, and stop them we shall. But first, we must surmount the obstacle that Iceheart has placed in our path. Ordinarily, it would be a simple matter to tap into the established Aethernet, and thereby follow our quarry. However, despite our best efforts, we have been unable to ascertain the position of the Aephorite to which she teleported. Our prevailing theory is that she destroyed the second Aephorite upon arrival. A reckless, desperate measure, but also an effective one. After discussing the matter at length with Urianger, we have concluded that we lack the expertise to develop a solution. Which is why we have called upon the aid of one who does possess such expertise. A colleague of ours who is currently en route to Revenant's Stall from Charlian. She should be arriving within the hour, in fact. And since you are here, mayhap we could welcome her together. I am certain she would appreciate the gesture. Let us make our way to the northern gates and await her coming. I'm not getting a name, or... Oh. Oh. Yep, that's always how it is with lost phones and remotes and something. You always find a way to end up sitting on them. Oh. Or in our house more often, the dog is sitting on them. Okay, just... What manner of woman is she, I wonder? We've spoken before via Link Pearl, of course, but it is not the same. Oh, you don't know who it is either. Well, not quite. Is this her? That's the mark, that tattoo they have.
Midoriya, am I right?
None other. I bid you welcome to Revenant's Toll, and thank you for traveling so far on such short notice.
As if I could ever say no to Urianger.
Moonbreeder is an accomplished Sharlayan scholar, and an authority on aetherite technologies. She has played an invaluable role in our search for a means to capture Ascian souls.
Thank you for your hard work.
Sure.
I'm Sorin Sherwood. An adventurer, I guess? That's probably the best way to put it right. Let us return to the Rising Stones at once then. We have much to discuss. This Tato is still playing with knives. Is that Tupsimati on the wall back there? I'm amazed you managed to find all the pieces after, well, you know.
It's been ages!
Oh, longer, sister.
A joyous reunion indeed.
Well, of course it is. Moon and I are like twin sisters.
Save in appearance and aptitude.
Sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
Everyone, if I could have your attention. We have with us an esteemed guest who has come from Sharlayan to assist us. I bid Moonbreeder join us here that she might share with us her extensive knowledge of aetherites. Also, as many of you are already aware, she has been overseeing our research into white auracite, a sample of which she has been good enough to bring with her.
White auracite?
Well, I had to come, didn't I? You'd have to be bloody daft to turn your nose up at a chance like this. Where better to conduct my final tests than a land so steeped in ether you can taste it?
'Tis plain the passage of the years hath done little to dampen thy youthful spirits. And nothing at all to reform thy youthful manner.
Oriange, where in the hells have you been hiding?
Unhand me.
I come all this way, and that's what you have to say to me.
So there are some people that Arianji can't handle.
I much preferred when you were pleading with me to drop everything and hurry to your side. What was it you said? None save thee can satisfy this need.
Go on. Thine artless attempts to misrepresent mine all too innocent motives do thee little credit. Mine intent, as well thou knowest, was but to impress upon thee the gravity of the circumstance. Lest thou doubt, a deiform entity shall shortly be summoned, save if thou and no other grantest my compeers thine aid.
You still haven't found it, then? Your missing aetherite?
We have not. No. We know that Iceheart teleported to an aetherite not far from the first. Yet even after careful analysis, we could not locate the second beacon. We now suspect that the heretics destroyed the second aetherite to impede our pursuit. Our allies continue to scour Snowcloak for Iceheart's sanctuary, but we have no guarantee that they will find it. Yet it must be found, for even now Iceheart prepares to call upon Saint Shiva.
I'm sorry, but if the aetherite's been destroyed, then that's that. Although, you're absolutely sure she used the first aetherite, are you? She didn't just use teleportation magics?
One of our own bore witness to her escape. I can say with absolute certainty that Iceheart used the aetherite.
It definitely looked like she did.
In that case, there might be a way, so long as the ethereal current is still flowing.
Truly? How?
We use the current to recreate the beacon. As you know, aetherites are a bit like lighthouses. We use them to reconstitute our physical forms when crossing the ethereal sea. Without them, we'd lose all sense of direction and our essence would dissipate. However, we don't rely solely on these beacons. There are currents of ether which flow between them, currents which help guide us to our destination. Now, these currents will gradually dwindle away to nothing if an aetherite is destroyed. But if even a sluggish flow remains, we could theoretically use it to direct a surge of concentrated ether towards the void left by the beacon, and thereby fill it up again.
I think I'm
like
following.
opening the floodgates to fill a dry riverbed. Though, correct me if I'm wrong, but would we not need a veritable reservoir of ether?
In concert, we might manage to channel a sufficient volume, yet that is not my chief concern. To direct the flow of so great a volume of ether with the requisite precision would be a nigh impossible task in itself.
I barely succeeded in facilitating travel to an unattuned beacon. That which you describe sounds considerably more difficult.
And dangerous. Every person who has attempted to teleport in this fashion has died in the process. They, however, did not have white aura sight at their disposal. I can use it to channel all the ether you can give me into the aetherite. However, white aura sight cannot retain ether for an extended period of time, so we would need to infuse it immediately beforehand. Just so you know, I'd confidently give this plan better than even odds of success. And if the worst comes to worst, your people won't suffer.
Though it risked the lives of our best and brightest, we have not the time to seek other options. If the ethereal current still flows, we shall carry out Moonbreeder's plan.
I guess if that's our only option.
Let's roll the dice.
not entirely fond of this random chance involved. Especially as it doesn't sound like the chance is, you know, particularly on our side. I have already informed Alphino of our plan to recreate the beacon in the manner Mumbrita described. He agreed that despite the inherent danger, it represents our only hope of success. He also said that he wished to meet with you at Snowcloak before proceeding. I expect you will find him waiting for you there when you arrive. I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done on our behalf, Sorin, and that I have faith that you will return to us, as you always have. Oh, yeah, I suppose if anyone's going to be the one to go through this portal, it's, you know, going to be me, isn't it? I would say I can trust Heidelin to protect me, but I still haven't heard anything from Heidelin since Ultima. Off to Snowcloak. Is there no way of manually looking for where we're going? Like, Mr. Garland not lend us the Enterprise again? Trust in the power of White Orsite, Sorin. And of me, of course. Good to see you, Sorin. I was starting to wonder if you were having second thoughts. Captain Ilbert sends his regards, by the way. He attends to the interrogation of Elaine, Rael, and Ulda even as we speak. But I shall not distract you from the matter at hand. We can discuss the Ivy upon your return. I trust that, by which I mean to say... The others are waiting for us at the Aephorite. After you, Scion. So, how does this work again? There, it's ready. Oh, wait. That looks like it's activating, I think. Ah, it worked, I think. Try tuning to the Aephorite now. Feel for the current and try to locate the beacon. I'll try. Just like normal, right? I think I got it. We've done all we can, Sorin. For now, let us withdraw. When your final preparations are complete, you must seek out the beacon we have created. If, by the graces of 12, you arrive safely, you must stop Iceheart before she summons Shiva. That always was the plan, right? I'm not very well going to make it there just to watch. We cannot ignore the possibility that our actions have alerted Isaac to our plans. Should that be the case, she may attempt to hasten the completion of the summoning ritual. And if she succeeds, you will have little choice but to face Shiva in battle. Knowing little of this saint, I cannot say if your own strength will suffice, and so I would encourage you to call upon your allies. Some may have reservations about wagering their lives on the success of Moonbreeder's experiments, but others will surely agree that desperate times call for desperate measures. Before you assemble your party, pray speak with that knight. I believe he had a message for you from Sir Aymeric. This knight? Hello there, sir. Sir Aymeric regrets that he could not be here in person, and asked that I read you this letter. Ishgard faces an unprecedented threat. Yet in our hour of need, it is not our knights who stand poised to defend her. Sorin Sherwood, the warrior of light, saviour of Eorzea, your deeds this day shall not be forgotten. Where others would flee, you chose to remain. Where others would falter, you rise to the challenge. Where others would use their gifts for selfish ends, you wield yours in service to a greater cause. May Halone bless you with good fortune and see you safely home. I guess I shouldn't delay. He's likely to be rushing the summoning. And now, just for waiting the less than 5 minutes. The eyes have it. That is, I believe, the difficult fate that you don't really have much chance of soloing. Oh yeah, missed the big boy. Fairly certain can't really do that alone. Not in 3 minutes anyway. Yeah, fates about to look at. I guess I can up and do simply red. It is nice that you get little bits of shorter queues when you're a healer. But for streaming, I'm realizing the shorter queues are kind of a little annoying, because they're that awkward period of time where they're not quite super quick, but it's not like they're leaving me with enough time to do other things. I can't go on and do other quest lines, or not reliably anyway. I think I still could use some more company seals. Let's get in a little bit of promotion, wouldn't be too bad. probably should have dodged that, but no harm done. I didn't die. I think once this fight is finished, I might just... yeah, head back and wait. It's still saying less than 5 minutes. We've got 4 minutes elapsed, so you should be popping fairly soon if that average wait time is in any way accurate. None of the numbers are popping up, it's only still saying there's just one healer. We've gone over the 5 minutes now. I'd mind to join you, but Urianja made me promise I wouldn't. Apparently the thought of me becoming Shiva's thrall was too much to bear. As if I'd give her the chance. Of all the myriad challenges you have faced, I should be amazed if it were a failed teleportation attempt that finally killed you. Pray do not surprise me. Are these other people waiting for Shiva? Or they might be waiting for Shiva Extreme. Well, so it's generally, no, for Extremes generally you wouldn't have people sitting around waiting for queues to pop. I'm rather determined. Oh, there we go. I'm rather determined to finish up Dreams of Ice this stream, even if it does mean running a little later. Because I then want to make sure that on Friday I can make enough progress that I can do a stream on Saturday where I will be going through the finale of all the 2.0, 2. All that quests. And which will then mean next Wednesday we'll hope. Oh no! Which will then mean next Wednesday we'll be starting Heavensward. Here we go. Light party. Full party. Iceheart. Giselle?
You should never have come here, warrior of light. I labor only to forge a lasting peace. A peace you would deny us out of ignorance and blind faith. No matter. If it is our fate to be at odds, then it is mine to strike you down.
Don't worry, Catherine. I know what it's like to have dogs.
We whom gods and men have forsaken shall be the instruments of our own deliverance. Partake of my flesh. Fill this vessel with your light. Walk amongst your brothers.
This seems a little different.
Saint Shiva, still the hatred within our hearts and bless us with eternal grace.
This doesn't seem like the other primal summonings I've seen. This is Shiva? I'm not surprised it came down to fighting, but this seems different. If my previous fights have taught me anything, it's probably that we don't want to let them stick around for too long. She gone? Ow, I thought I made it out of that one. That break in there. Did we do it? That would... She's still there? That felt... That wasn't the same as the other primal fights I've had. Are we done fighting? Are you okay?
Fool. Blind, bloody fool.
If you think I'm doing something wrong, you'll have to...
You, of all people, should understand the suffering war begets. That no sacrifice is too great if it brings an end to the violence.
Well, if the sacrifice is more suffering than the
cause. You fight in a war you do not understand. A pawn of liars and schemers.
It's hard to sympathize with you when you're not explaining to me why I don't understand, or what it is that I'm not understanding.
Ignorant than you, following the creed of their fathers without question, never thinking to ask why. Trapped in a delusion of their own creation, and blind to the truth. warrior of light. Redemption is not beyond us. We who walk before may lead those who walk after. Seek the keeper of the lake. See with eyes unclouded.
Keeper of the lake? That's the dragon in.
Do not squander Mother's gift.
Offers. Yeah. Is she talking about?
Think.
She? I should maybe run it past Miss Minfilia, but... Is she talking about the echo? See with eyes unclouded? Hear? Feel? Think? Lover's gift? That
and
sounds...
so the vessel withdraws, a predictable outcome. Nevertheless, La Habrea will be pleased. How unfortunate.
Miss Moonbrita? Your plan worked. Why, at 12, you're alive. I mean, of course you're alive. Why wouldn't you be? Isart did what? And you're certain about it, are you? The Revenants are skilled with glamours, after all. Look, if you say that's what you saw, I believe you. It's just I've never heard of a primal being summoned like that before. Are you sure you're not injured? Head trauma has been known to cause hallucinations, you see. No, fair enough. I was only asking. Well, if you ask me, there's not to be gained from mulling over the implications of your story in the freezing cold. Let's save it for the rising stones, eh? I'll get everyone to meet us there. Ah, but before that, you'd best pay a visit to White Front to speak with Alphino. He's probably worried sick about you. Dad, or he's busy playing at politics with these guardians. Either way, I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you hale and healthy. Speaking of which, you don't have a headache or anything, do you? No? Blurred vision? Oh, no reason. See you again soon. I guess I'm not alone in thinking that that was different. Everything going on kind of has been distracting me, but now I'm able to relax a bit. I've forgotten to put my jacket back on. Sir Emmerich? Lord Drillmon? Alphino? Or should I be calling you Command Olivier now as well? There he is, and none the worse for wear. Was there ever any doubt that the Warrior of Light would succeed? I think I speak for us all when I say that I should like nothing more than to hear the stirring tale of your victory, if you would be so kind. Well, then we are too late to prevent the summoning. But not too late to prevent further loss of life, an outcome worthy of celebration, and one for which we have Sorin to thank. Yes, you're right, of course, Sir Emmerich. We should be content with what we have accomplished. I, for one, could not have wished for a better outcome. Shiva is no longer a threat, and the heretics have been routed. Aye, there is the matter of Isart's escape, but she cannot run forever. Whether it takes days, weeks, moons, or even years, my knights will find her. In the meantime, Lord Drillmon, is the caravan ready? The supplies that your men recovered have been prepared for transport, in accordance with your wishes. Rest assured that my knights will see them safely to Revenants Toll. Of that I have no doubt. I take it these are the self-same supplies the heretics stole from the House Fortemps caravan. Less the crystals which comprised the bulk of the shipment, yes. Scarcely a fraction of that which was promised, but a meaningful contribution to your cause all the same. Ah, on an unrelated note, Sorin, might I trouble you to accompany me to Camp Dragonhead at your earliest convenience? It is not for my benefit. A certain lord was most distressed when he learned of your intent to risk life and limb to stop Iceheart. It took half a dozen nights to restrain him, I'm told. Lord Oshfont? Men give vent to their anxieties in myriad ways. Pray do not think less of him. I wouldn't dream of it, sir. I guess I should be on my way then. If Lord Oshfont is that worried. I kind of haven't seen him for a while since all this began. The bit after I first heard about Iceheart, and then the rest has just been all through Alphino and Lord Drillmon. Change back into my jacket. Warm enough in here, I don't need my hat. Lord Oshfont? What were you thinking, Sorin? Wagering your very being on a dubious theory which might allow you to enter Iceheart's lair, knowing full well that she could have sufficient forewarning to complete her ritual to summon Shiva anyway? And then engaging the abomination in mortal combat! By the fury, Sorin, 'tis the stuff of ballads, a battle for the ages. Would that I had been there to fight by your side. Yet here I was, forced to wait, condemned to wonder at the fate of a dear friend for a veritable eternity. I would not wish such torture on my most hated enemy. But you are here now, and that is what truly matters. Let us move on. Sir Aymeric wished to have words with you and Master Alphino in private. He awaits us in the intercessory. Well, let's not keep him waiting then. Sorry for worrying you. Hello, sir. Greetings, sir. I shall show you in at once. Sir Aymeric?
On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, allow me to express my deepest thanks. Never before have we been required to contend with a primal. Indeed, there were fears in some quarters that our knights might not be equal to the task. From what we have now learned of these beings, I can say with certainty that we would have lost a great many men had the Scions not intervened.
Then the argument for preemptive action should be self-evident. Perchance now you will reconsider my proposal that Ishgard move against Nottalam.
Ere we first met, a similar proposal was tabled, but the Holy See all things considered, it was not an unreasonable decision. Since the calamity, 2 vigils have fallen to the Horde, while Garuda has never shown any inclination to storm the gates of judgment. Which is why this unprecedented crisis and its resolution may prompt a change in policy. You who have faced these primals know well the threat they pose. Ishgard did not. Not until now. And there is naught like a brush with death to change a man's outlook.
At the very least, this should silence any lingering objections to our arrangement with Revenant's toll. The Holy See may even feel moved to grant us its formal endorsement.
So far as it is possible, the Scions shall be compensated for their service.
We should be grateful for any aid you can provide.
As a gesture of good faith, I shall withdraw my previous request. Your people are doubtless needed elsewhere.
That will not be necessary. We too have a vested interest in watching Dravania's movements.
I see. Once more, I must thank you.
Sir Emmerich, if I may, do you truly believe that Midgard's could return?
The heavens are a window unto truth, but those who interpret their movements are not infallible. I requested your involvement as a precautionary measure.
But of course, you sought an excuse to compensate us from the first, mindful of what would happen if Revenant's toll were taken by your enemies. Ishgard is not wont to aid its neighbors, but that does not preclude it from manipulating them to serve its own interests.
Alphino?
Choose your next words carefully.
Yeah. Was about to say.
Do you know what sort of man becomes Lord Commander of the Temple Knights? One who comes from good stock. I did not. Yet here I am. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because I swiftly learned to tell the difference between words, deeds, and beliefs. You are correct, Master Leveilleur. Ishgard desires to see Revenant's toll flourish, as it would present a troublesome obstacle to our enemies from the south.
We are so glad to be of use to you.
As we are to you. Ours is a mutually beneficial arrangement, lest we forget, one born of necessity. The dragons grow more restless by the day, and the heretics harry us nigh without cease. We have contended with such troubles for centuries, but there are limits to even our endurance. Yet as a pauper is loath to part with his meager possessions, the leaders of Ishgard are not wont to render up their trust to outsiders. But with perseverance on our part, they may yet be made to see the light. Nevertheless, one must take care when walking the road less traveled.
Wise words, Sir Emmerich. I shall make a point to remember them. I must apologize for my earlier outburst. I hope it will not sour our good relations.
Your tone, Alphino, is very hard to tell when you're being sarcastic.
Not at all. You but spoke from the heart. I trust you understand that at times my duties may prevent me from meeting with you. On such occasions, my second-in-command will speak for me.
Lucia, at your service. Pray excuse our reticence. We are but wary of speaking too freely, lest our sentiments be made known to our enemies. Know that the Lord Commander and I are of one mind. For the sake of Ishgard, and of Eorzea at large, I pray our peoples can put aside their differences. Those who dwell in the past risk losing sight of their future.
Should aught befall
that
one of our
directed at
shipments,
me,
pray
Tom?
inform Lucia immediately. You may also relay to her any words you might have for me alone. Not being of Ishgardian birth, she owes no allegiance to any noble house, making her as near to incorruptible as one can find in my homeland. Suffice it to say, I trust her completely, and so may you. Which reminds me, Lord Orchefort, if you would be so kind?
Certainly.
In times such as these, trust is ever in short supply. Mayhap this will go some way to rectify the problem. The results of our investigation into the heretics' recent attacks, as well as our interrogation of the merchant you detained.
Sir Emmerich, I cannot thank you enough.
Think nothing of it. Ishgard may be many things, but it is no friend to Garlemald.
Did I not tell you to have faith, my friend?
No. It would seem we have much to discuss with our friends at the Rising Stones. If what you say is true, Iceheart's method of summoning Shiva defies all precedent. It necessitates a complete reappraisal of the primal threat, and of our approach to combating it. Moreover, there are grave ramifications if word of this incident reaches Imperial ears. The Garlean Empire believes the primals are an insufferable menace, that their mere existence is a threat to this very star. As such, they deem any action taken against the beast tribes to be justified by default. Imagine then, if it became known that it was not only the beast tribes of Eorzea that could summon primals, but their civilized people as well. Any lingering objections to the Eorzean campaign would vanish overnight. Where before we had to contend with a single Imperial Legion, we could well find ourselves facing the combined might of all Garlemald. But I speak unadvisedly. Come, Sorin, it's better that we continue this conversation in Mordona. Eager to get back to the warmth, are you? You aren't wrong that we should... get this figured out. It wasn't too long ago we found out that the Empire could soon be moving again. Usual proofs.
Words cannot well express how glad I am to see you return to us hale and whole. Needless to say, I am most eager to hear your account of that which occurred in Coerthas, assuming you're ready to speak of it.
Of course.
Excellent. I shall summon the others at once. Iceheart used her own body as a vessel for a primal soul?
Master
Seems like
Louisoir's
something like
writings
that.
make no mention of such a possibility. Can we be certain this entity was a primal?
Seemed to be summoned in a similar way.
It can be that good King Mogulmog XII was a primal, I should think. Both were ostensibly summoned.
Let's not quibble over definitions. Of more concern is the implication that Iceheart retained her will, even after she was possessed. We are talking about a mortal, wielding the power of a primal.
That is concerning.
It can't possibly be that easy, can it? There must be some sort of sacrifice required. Or maybe she's just special?
What qualities this woman possesseth, I know not. But full sure am I that she was groomed for this role. Few are privy to the secrets of summoning, and but a single party standeth to profit from their dissemination.
Well, I wouldn't presume to comment on how the lass came to know about summoning, but I will say that what she summoned was a primal. The readings were the same, or near as damn it. Strange as it all sounds, it's really no different from what you've faced before.
Then mayhap it is time that we re-examined our previous encounters.
Pack your things, Ida. We're going back to Gridania.
Yes, sir.
About Iceheart's final words to you.
Yeah, I'd been meaning to ask.
Feel. Think. Hydaelyn speaks to her as well.
Yeah.
If Iceheart is blessed with the power of the Echo, she will doubtless have used it to further her goals. Or could it be that it was a revelation granted her by the Echo which first set her on this path? She did say that the Ishgardians were blind to the truth.
Curious about what she said
Do you
about...
think she has knowledge of the origins of the Ishgardian-Dravanian War? It would do much to explain her unwavering conviction.
Said something about visiting the Keeper of the Lake, seen with eyes unclouded.
Did not the Lady Iceheart implore thee to seek the Keeper of the Lake?
Yeah.
And did she not imply that in so doing thou wouldst come to see with eyes unclouded?
That she did.
Zoma was a king amongst kings who reigned for centuries on end. But he is dead and his wisdom lost to the ages. Unless the Ishgardians' fears are well founded. It would seem we have yet another reason to stand watch over the Keeper of the Lake. For a mercy, we are well positioned to do so. Iceheart, Shiva, Ascians, and Midgard Zoma. I shudder to think how they're all connected.
I gotta start this conversation now. I mean to scour the annals for knowledge of Midgard Zormr. Given his great age, I dare say he appears in more than a few. Do you hear that? The commotion outside. Would you see if aught is amiss? Just achievement sound. Oh yeah, not quite at it yet. I don't think there's many quests left in this expansion. Not expansion. Patch. No? Everything okay? Sorin, 'tis well that you're on hand. We have a problem. Rael has escaped. It happened shortly after the Immortal Flames took her into custody. She had been placed in a dungeon cell ahead of her coming trial, but apparently the accommodation was not to her liking. The turnkey was found slain along with 2 guards. It is plain she received inside help. A citizen's report seen Rael quitting the city via the Gate of Nald with a bloodied spear in her hand. She makes for Castra Meridianum, I am certain of it. With her fate in Eorzea as good as sealed, what recourse has she but to flee to her imperial masters? Even as we speak, Captain Ilbert and the First are hot upon Rael's heels. Pray make haste to Camp Bluefog and join the hunt. I'll be there as quick as I can. This is a problem. Camp Bluefog. If she's going to Castra Meridianum, she'd have to pass through there, wouldn't she? Captain Ilbert? My thanks for coming, Scion. I have spoken with the soldiers here. They say the Rael walked through the camp not a bell ago. Aye, she walked right through. You did not mishear. We have Abounds' decision to keep the matter secret to thank for that. Bad for morale, he said. As a result, not a single flame in the garrison made any attempt to detain her. And so here we are. Rael must not be allowed to reach Castra Meridianum. Okay, sir. Out for any sign of her along the way. Hopefully we're not too late. Not seeing anything. No. What's happened here? This wretch was with Rael. He threw himself at us as his mistress might escape. She didn't blink when we cut him down, not even when he started screaming. No loyalty even to her own, the goddamn harpy. With me, Scion, we almost have her. Right. I'd rather not have to siege Castra Meridianum again. That's a lot of them. Catching her, I think would be too easy. Yep, medic first. What do we want to do for backup before dealing with the person herself? Oh, never mind. Too late. I need to deal with the Colossus. Oh, I thought that was... Here we go. It's like Ilbert has Elaine have more. Lady Gary. Elaine's gotten to a stage where circle. This circle, I'm guessing. Looks like all of them. Nope. One more. There we go. Bind her and do it tight. Yes, sir. Good work, men. She and her Imperial cronies pushed us close, but we were better. Behold, a respected officer of the Immortal Flames. People looked up to you as one of the Order's founding members, one of its pillars. It saddens me to see you fallen so low. What would you know of low? You, a spoiled little lordling who has never known any want. People such as you take wealth and birth for granted. You think it your God's-given right to rule over others. You know naught of our plight. The injustice that we lowbornish guardians must endure. To the noble lords and ladies, we are not people, but resources to be consumed. I did what I had to do to survive. Stealing, killing, even whoring myself. It's no fault of mine if fools imagined me a paragon when I joined the Flames. To hear you tell it, one would think you're the only person ever to have suffered. In case you have forgotten, Raban himself was born into poverty, as was I. We lived hand to mouth, with little more than the shirts on our back. Hunger was our constant companion. Yet never did we bemoan our lot in life, nor did we begrudge others their fortunes. We accepted the hand that we had been dealt, and played it to the best of our ability. Life was a battle, aye, but no matter what fate threw at us, we took it on the chin and came back for more. Everything we have, we fought for. How are we any different then? 'Tis true that we are both mercenaries of lowly birth, and 'tis true that we have both had our fair share of struggles. But whereas I sold my sword, you, Marshal, you sold your comrades. If life has taught me one thing, it is that you never betray your own. I would sooner cut off my arm than raise a hand against a friend. I am trying not to say anything right now. But enough talk. You will return to Ul'dah to face justice and the people whose trust you have dragged through the gutter. What was that about cutting off an arm, Ilbert? Yeah, you'd sooner cut off an arm, just not your own. I shouldn't be saying stuff like that. That hasn't happened yet for Sorin. Not so much as a hint of remorse. This world of sordid business is finally at an end. Friend's betrayal cuts deeper than steel. We must hope that we have chosen our own allies more wisely than Raban chose his.
I have heard. Truly bothersome business. No, I do not foresee a problem on that front. The main concern is Raban. There is no telling what the brute might do. Have the Blades watch him in the flames day and night. You may leave the Sultana to me. I shall personally attend her grace. Sever one of the East Aldenard trade routes. That ought to keep Lolorito occupied for a while. Nanamo Ulnamo. For my sake, pray be a good little Sultana to the last.
Okay. I think this is the last one we'll be doing. Captain Ilbert and I have a few questions for the Flame Marshal regarding the circumstances of her miraculous escape. And when we have completed our interrogation, we shall take our findings directly to General Raban, and that shall be the end of it. Your work here is done, my friend. My thanks. But I do have one last task for you. Return to the Rising Stones and appraise Minfilia of all that has happened. I am aware that the antecedent held Rael in high regard. Better or worse, she will want to know how this tale ends. And you're leaving me to deliver the bad news? Guess someone has to let her know. That seems to be most of our loose ends wrapped up for the minute. Still a little concerning about what Legiad is planning in Ul'dah with those riots. That seems to be, for now at least, Shiva Iceheart's heretics have been suppressed, and we found the ivy.
Welcome back, my friend. I have already received word from Alfino. To think that Flame Marshal Huayu was the Garlean agent.
That was not how I imagined that name being pronounced.
Together with Raban, Aline lent us much needed aid at the time of our Order's founding. She was particularly passionate about the need to tackle the primal threat. When we discussed the subject, her eyes fairly shone with determination. Whatever else she may have been, I choose to believe that it was her true self with whom I spoke then. But now is not the time to dwell on such matters. I have an important announcement to make regarding our effort to defeat the Ascians. We shall begin as soon as everyone is assembled. My thanks for coming, friends. Moonbreeder, the floor is yours.
By now, I'm sure you're all familiar with white auracite, the miraculous material that'll allow us to capture Ascian souls. Back at Snowcloak, we verified its ability to absorb vast amounts of ether. Alas, it leaves something to be desired in the area of stability. The stone can only store ether for a short while before expelling its contents.
In addition to auracite's inherent limitations, our foe draweth upon an infinite wellspring of power. Even should we succeed in entrapping him, the stone will not long contain his wrath.
Meaning that, if we want to kill the swine, we'll have to be quick about it.
'Tis our belief that an Ascian soul may be permanently undone, if smitten by a sufficiently concentrated burst of pure ether.
The only trouble is, we can't say for sure how concentrated the burst needs to be. Without knowing how much ether an Ascian soul is composed of, we're basically guessing.
Our sole clue lieth in thy struggle with La Hebrea.
During that encounter, Hydaelyn bid you forge what she called a Blade of Light, a weapon which took the form of a luminous stream of energy. Based on your description, we believe the blade with which you vanquished your foe was composed of ether. Admittedly, your victory proved ephemeral, as La Hebrea was able to use a crystal of darkness to flee into the space that lies between our world and the void.
I'm not quite sure how I could do that again.
That Hydaelyn placed the means to destroy the Ascians in your hands. Be that as it may, it would be unwise to assume that she will do the same when we next encounter such a foe.
Quite so, my lady. We must needs find the means to forge our own blade of ether, one to equal that which Hydaelyn did benevolently bestow upon her champion.
That is all well and good, but it seems to me that producing such a blade will require a prodigious quantity of ether. Whence will it come, pray tell?
Oh, what if we had 2 pieces of white auracite? One to trap the Ascian, and the other to store the ether for the blade.
Oh, nice try. But it's as I said, the stone won't hold ether for any length of time. We'd still need to collect the stuff there and then, sorry to say.
And therein lies the rub. Finding a way to create the blade whenever and wherever we choose.
'Twould seem more research is in order.
I'm going to linger a while, perform a few more tests on the auracite. And I could do with some help. Urianger, why don't you lend me a hand?
Mine apologies, but I am required at the Waking Sands. Lady Minfilia hath given me sole charge of the premises. 'Twould be unseemly to leave them unattended.
Sole charge, you say? So you're basically alone there, then? Well, that settles it. I'll just have to come to you.
Hey there, Mr. Urianger.
While you were afield, word arrived from the Sharlayan motherland. You will recall that a survey party was dispatched to investigate the incident at the Isle of Val. What they discovered was troubling, to say the least. According to the report, the Isle has been erased from existence. 'Twas as if a hole had been torn in the very fabric of reality.
That's
Aye.
concerning.
Yet the mystery endeth not with the Isle's disappearance. It hath come to light that a number of scholars in various other locales were reported missing at a similar juncture.
What's more, they all had something in common with the head of the students of Baldessian. Every last one of them was researching a phenomenon called dimensional compression, or the rejoining as the ancient texts call it. I'll be damned if that's a coincidence.
Yeah, that sounds like someone's trying to shut someone up.
But I sense that a force greater still is at work. The entity the dark beings call the one true God. We must pray that my dear friend Kryl regains consciousness soon. If she bore witness to the Isle of Val's final moments, she may be able to shed some light on this mystery.
Following the calamity, the forces of the 14th Imperial Legion entrenched themselves in strategic locations across Eorzea.
Were you not there for that one, Catherine? That was a few streams ago now.
So swiftly did they accomplish this, it was suspected that they had received help. To think that it came from Huayu, my right hand.
There is more. We have reason to believe that Huayu didn't deal exclusively with the 14th. She also answered to a higher authority in Garlemald. But this higher authority could not have been the Emperor. By consenting to the Media Project, Solus Zos Galvus showed himself to be more concerned about preventing the spread of primal influence than claiming Eorzea for the Empire. He would happily have seen the lot reduced to ash. We believe a number of high-ranking figures within the royal household were against the decision, but that they knew better than to oppose the Emperor openly. Of course, this didn't prevent them from making clandestine provisions, in which Huayu played a part.
Alas, these provisions did not prevent Dalamud from falling, and the ensuing chaos changed the face of the realm forever. Yet Eorzea survived. To all intents and purposes, the Meteor Project had failed, and the Empire was left to rue its lack of a decisive means to eliminate the primals. Until, that is, it stumbled upon the Ultima weapon.
Even before the accursed thing was dug up, it seemed to me the 14th had the might to overwhelm our weakened armies. Yet they chose to hide behind their walls. Why?
The Black Wolf was wary of making the denizens of Eorzea desperate, lest more primals emerge to bleed the land. The discovery of the Ultima weapon, however, emboldened him to resume his war of conquest in earnest.
But there was one in Garlemald who believed that Van Belsar's actions were premature. One who stood higher in the Imperial Army's chain of command. He ordered the Legatus to halt his advance, only to find that the Black Wolf had slipped its leash, and that the 14th now acted alone. In a bid to bring Van Belsar to heel, he used the agent he had planted in Ul'dah prior to the calamity to undermine the Legion's efforts.
A man who outranks Van Belsar, yet opposed the late Emperor's decision to annihilate Eorzea. This could only be the former High Legatus of the Garlean army, now known as Emperor Varus Zos Galvus. So he was Huayu's true master.
But one of several in actual fact. We've learned that even as Huayu served the Empire's interests, she sold Imperial secrets to a certain faction in Eorzea. In so doing, she helped to maintain the status quo, thus prolonging the conflict. Considering who stands to profit from war, it isn't hard to imagine who her other masters were.
Seven hells! You mean to say that she was a double agent?
Triple, if you consider her services to Van Belsar and the new Emperor as separate.
As neatly as these pieces seem to fit, one aspect of the puzzle remains unclear to me. By whose will was the Marshal feeding intelligence to the heretics? And try as I might, I fail to see how aiding their cause would profit either her Imperial or monetarist masters. Could it be that another hand is at work here? If so, Huayu must be made to reveal whose it is.
Not only have I lost a trusted friend, now I must interrogate her as a stranger.
Not a pleasant task, I grant you, but a necessary one. Unless we weed out the ivy, root, stalk, and stem, it will simply grow back.
I know that full well. Those closest to Huayu have already been detained, and I will question them alongside her.
General, pray keep in mind that there may be unwitting abettors among them.
All will be treated fairly. On that you have my word. Those who are innocent have no cause to fear.
You have ever been a friend of truth, General. I hope the unpleasant task of weeding out falsehood will not detain you too long. Though it be for the sake of Eorzea, doubting one's comrades is poison to the soul. And with that, I take my leave.
All these years, I've been made to dance to their tune. How could you, Huayu? How could you side with them? Those cankers who take from this land and give naught in return, who use their power to disempower and grow fat while the people starve. I know you can hear me, monitorous scum! Your crimes will not go unpunished! Today I will purge this land of your sickness! Before the eyes of the 12, I swear it!
I shall have no further need of you this day. Your Grace. I fear that not even mine own chambers shall remain private for long.
Has the situation grown so grim?
Ever since he proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill, Teleji Adeleji has risen to greater prominence upon the backs of impoverished refugees. The monetarists were ever united in their pursuit of profit, but the man's actions have torn a rift in their ranks. They snap at each other as rabid dogs. Yet now is not the time to be bickering among ourselves.
If this bickering is a threat to law and order, might you not have grounds to dissolve the Syndicate?
Would that the solution were so simple, Admiral. Alas, my moving to dissolve the Syndicate is certain to spark outrage among the influential merchant class, whom the Cabal represents. This would serve to exacerbate the current unrest, and peace would slip still further away. Be they rich or poor, natives or refugees, all who reside in Ul'dah have a right to pursue happiness. It is the duty of a ruler to protect this right. If I am to perform my duty, I must needs tread warily. It would not do to make enemies heedlessly. Were Lord Lolorito here, he would doubtless say that I have my head in the clouds.
A ruler is required to take a wide view. Try as we might to cater to all needs, some will inevitably be overlooked. As such, there shall ever be citizens who feel aggrieved. It cannot be helped. But as you have informed us, the monetarists take no view but their own. They hunger for power while the masses starve. In the absence of a common cause, it seems beyond any one individual to make Ul'dah whole.
And the presence of a Garlean agent within the Immortal Flames only makes matters worse. Even accounting for Ul'dah's historic reliance upon mercenaries, such a grievous breach of security is unprecedented. I fear this business will provide the monetarists with a rod to beat Rauban.
Eorzea can ill afford for the Immortal Flames to be dampened now. Ere long, the Garleans will turn their ravenous gaze toward our lands once more. If we are to resist their might, our nations must stand together. Yet for this to happen, our nations must be whole. Cannot be done to improve the situation in Ul'dah.
The true wealth of Ul'dah lies in the health, happiness, and hopes of her citizens. Alas, the citizens shall never know these things, so long as their lives are ruled by the ambitions of the few. The monetarists claim to represent the best interests of the people, but in sooth they desire only to manipulate them for their own selfish ends. For the government to serve the people, it must be formed of the people. For Ul'dah to move forward, it is not only the Syndicate that must be dissolved.
Nay, you jest.
My friends, it was for no other reason than to make known to you mine intent that I requested your presence here. When I make my declaration to the people, chaos shall inevitably ensue. As the last monarch in the line of Ul, I make unto you this request. Help Roban to preserve order and protect the people. Forsake them, and you forsake yourselves. For a strong Eorzea will ever have need of a strong Ul'dah.
Your Grace, are you certain of this?
There is no other way. When the time is ripe, the nation shall become a true republic. Both royalists and monetarists shall cease to be. Ul'dah will no longer belong to kings or queens or merchant princes, but to her people. Roban, forgive me for casting aside all that you have toiled for in my name. Beyond this gesture, I am powerless to help my subjects.
We go. Okay. Went a bit longer this stream than I'd hoped. Like an extra hour over. But that is Dreams of Ice finished. Which means that the next patch is Border Fall. The final patches of A Realm Reborn. Going to go with give Sorin a title finally. So yeah, on Friday I will be trying to just get as much progress through the main story quests as I can. And depending on how well that goes, I'll be start doing my stream on Saturday, possibly at a little bit of a different time to when I normally do my stream. So maybe a little earlier if I don't make as much progress on Friday as I'm hoping to make. But otherwise, Saturday will be the finale. By the end, and then next week, Sorin will hopefully be starting into Heavensward. But anyway, thank you for coming along to watch. I hope you enjoyed it a little. I hope my new setup hasn't been causing too many problems for watching. And yeah, until the next stream, I hope you have a good week, good day, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.